Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Pisces, Sun, Moon or Rising. Pisces, this is your weekly intuitive tarot reading for March 2nd to the 8th. Can you believe it? We're in the third month of 2020 already. It's unbelievable, guys, how quick it goes. Now, this week we have the Warrior Woman Oracle card. We have the Star, the Ace of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, the Five of Cups, and the Nine of Pentacles. So I actually really love the story that's playing out here. We've got some really beautiful cards coming in. But, first of all, there's something to shine light on, really figuring out maybe what's been holding you back, what's been keeping you unstable, what's been stopping you from making, the good decisions in your life. And when we get to the bottom of that, that's when we start to transform our energies, heal, and my gosh, we can allow in that Ace of Cups that's bursting to come in. So Pisces, just going to start off by reading out your Oracle card there, Warrior Woman. Have you answered your deepest calling? Well, I'm thinking not until now, but I really feel that you're about to. You are here for a reason. You're being called to bravely pave a path. Have you answered your highest and deepest calling? Living a heart and soul-led life is not all fluffy and smooth sailing. Living a heart and soul-led life requires courage to triumph over fear. So often our fears are the gatekeepers to our greatest gifts. I love that, guys. And the more resistance we have towards answering the call, the more important it is to our soul's growth. Sometimes fear is an indication that we are facing the right way. Yeah, well, I really feel like you're on the threshold, guys. That's what this Five of Cups is all about. This is your threshold. This is the fear that needs to be transmuted in order for you to, get to that next level. The Five of Cups is somebody who is lamenting the past or is somehow fixated on what didn't work out, the losses, the grief, the despair, the disappointments, the what ifs. It's that kind of energy, I really thought it was going to work out differently. Those expectations that weren't fulfilled, the emotional fulfillment that never quite happened, the business ideas, the projects that didn't get off the ground, the university degree you had to pull out of, the relationship that went sour or just didn't fulfill you, or the love just evaporated, soaked into the ground like that wine out of those cups. But this is somebody who's, stuck in the emotional charge of that situation. And when we remain attached and, in that energy, we don't have the space, or we just don't see the opportunities that are literally right behind us, knocking at our door. That's the Five of Cups, but with the Five of Cups, there's no way to get back what has been lost. That's why we move on. We see this person looking at these cups that the wine has already soaked into the earth and going, oh gosh, the wine is gone, the wine is gone. Well, we go and find new wine. It's not about lamenting that past, because when we do so, it holds us stuck or stagnant, or in a space of negativity, maybe even depression or despair for some people. But this is a number 5, guys, and yes, 5 is the number of conflict, deep internal conflict with this card. It's also the number of change. So when I see this, this is why this is like a portal. This is what's standing in the way. This is the gateway, because we want to turn conflict, we want to transmute that by bringing change in our life. That is the antidote. We have to shift something. We have to shift our energy. We have to do something different, or we remain stuck. It's time to, cross that bridge over this emotional water. It's happened. It's been. It's gone. Yes, it was hurt. There was pain. There was maybe emotional trauma. But it's time to go home. It's time to go back to your sanctuary and, make good decisions for yourself. Now, we have the Two of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. So it's time to bring clarity to where you maybe have been stuck or stagnant in your decision making. To ask yourself, what has been keeping you ungrounded? What has been making you unstable? And what has been stopping you from making the decisions that you needed to move forward in your life? We've got these roller coaster emotions here. I really feel that's the energy of the Five of Cups here, that you've kind of been seesawing in for a while, and you've been maybe sitting on some decisions, but you haven't actually been choosing one than taking the action and running with it. Otherwise, you would have transformed things by now. But we see somebody who is just shifting from one foot to the other, juggling these pentacles, but can't quite, actually keep them both in the air and make that decision. Well, the Queen of Wands the Queen of Swords is here for you this week to bring that sense of clarity. Like, she just cuts through the rubbish basically with that sword. She, is all about clarity and truth. She's also a great communicator. Look, we've got the warrior woman, like two females here holding those swords of truth, those swords of, communication. So the Queen of Swords is a great communicator. This can be a truth coming to light that helps you make that decision. It could be you communicating with somebody that was involved in this and clearing something up that allows you to get things over the line, to get stable again. But the Queen of Swords is also about, getting the clarity, seeing the full picture, and from that place, you can make a good strategic decision. She sits on that cliff top. She's got that, 360-degree eagle-eye view, and she sees things for what they are. Finally, she has that hindsight. She can join the dots. And, just being able to see things for how they are and make that decision, that's where the transformation starts for you. That's why she wears that butterfly crown. This is the start of that progress for you. There's going to be, a decision, and you're going to be able to move forward, maybe for the first time in a long time. So I love that energy. Now, that could lead to the fact that you might need to have a little bit of healing, rebalancing, renewal after that time. This is also you being, let's say, reborn after this change that's going to come in. I think you're really going to feel like a new person. Some of you might feel a little bit naked and vulnerable after, maybe releasing that cloak. Maybe that's why you kept that cloak of darkness on, because underneath you just felt quite vulnerable and quite exposed. But it is time to drop that cloak, because the star is here with that healing energy. If the Two of Pentacles is all about instability, the star is all about rebalancing, bringing those emotional waters of life back into balance, grounding yourself, healing yourself, and starting to make new wishes on that star. That star is that element of divine guidance. It's, the universe basically hearing your call, helping you to now answer your deepest calling, but also getting the memo that, you have taken action. It's time for me to, step back in and bring you the goods, because now you've created the space for me to come in. That's what the star says to me, guys. It's the universe getting that memo, and my gosh, it's going to be good. Just checking our battery. Yep, we're still going, guys. That's awesome. Okay, so just before I read, there's two cards here with the Nine of Pentacles, but I just wanted to show you the transition. Look at the characters in these two cards. We're going from somebody who is, shrouded in negativity and that cloak of darkness to somebody who's just like, just bright and shiny and just full of self-esteem and confidence. This is what you're moving towards. This is the transformation that's going to happen for you. Now, we've got the Nine of Pentacles and we have the Magician. Yeah, that's what they came out with. So this is truly about making a deep transformation in your life that's going to lead to you stepping into your light fully. Now, the Magician is an awakening, guys. Awakening to the fact that you are magic. You have all the tools at your disposal in order to shift your life, to shift out of this, and now to start building, true abundance. And it's that awakening that really unlocks that infinite potential that you have. As above, so below, there's a saying with the Magician. So it's all about the fact that, our external reality is, really, it reflects back what's inside of us. So if we do the inner work, we shift our inner world by releasing the things that stand in our way, the blocks, the past. That's when our external reality starts to shift and transform and reflect back to us that change. That's the process that we're going through with the Magician. That is the process of internal alchemy, of spiritual alchemy. And that, is going to lead to a huge shift for you. Really coming back to yourself and shining in your light. This is a card of independence, of, now building great abundance and inviting quality into your life rather than quantity. You know, this is that change. It's really about, we're going from a Two of Pentacles to a Nine of Pentacles. So some of you could have a big shift up as well in your financial resources by, you know, really getting back into your energy. You know, you're going to be glowing, and I think people are really going to notice that in you. That's the Nine of Pentacles energy. Self-confidence, self-esteem, just looking fabulous, feeling like you've just, you know, you've got this. And it's often when you shift into that energy, of course, it doesn't go unrecognized, and that's when things like this can come in. The beautiful Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is about somebody who is now ready to receive. They are open because they've created the space. This is the person that now sees those cups behind them and is ready to take one. Strong element of divinity in this card as well as the Star. So this really is about a divine opportunity of emotional fulfillment that is ready to come in for you, that probably has been for a while, but finally the space is here for it. This is, you know, Ace of Cups is about an emotional offer that has the ability to go the distance and really, you know, fulfill you on every essential level. The Ace of Cups is also about transformation. I mean, these are lotus flowers on the water here, and they start their journey in the mud, you know, in the thick of it basically, and they move up through the water towards the light, and that's when they flower on the surface of the water. So it's about a transformative journey that you've been on, and now that you really are shining in your own light, that's when you can receive love again. So, you know, there could be somebody who makes an offer of love to you. This could be about self-love, reconnecting with yourself. But either way, it's about being in a place where you can now recognize and, you know, accept the opportunities of great love that could come in for you. So I just absolutely love ending on that card. Pisces, I'm going to leave it there. I actually think this is a really exciting reading. Just remember that, you know, that energy that you might be holding now is your trigger, it is your launching pad. That is the gateway, the portal that can lead to something far greater. Just make those, you know, clear decisions for yourself. Okay, guys, do keep in mind it's a general reading. It won't be for everyone, but there's always a piece in every reading for everyone, I believe. Feel free to leave me a comment, as I always love to know how it's playing out in your daily life. And I'll see you back here next week for another reading.